All right, so you'll need a blank piece of paper, a pencil. I have a gold, this is a paint pen, or you could use oil pastel, or if you don't have anything gold, that's okay. You can just go back, maybe if you have a gold crayon, you can use that. I have some crayons today. You could use markers or oil pastels if you have them. All three of those will work. Colored pencils will be a little, won't really turn out the best, but so markers, colored pencils, or not colored pencils, markers, crayons, or oil pastels. And that's all we should need. So let me see if I can get that screen up about what we're going to learn about today. So it is Hispanic Heritage Month. That started September 15th all the way to October 15th. And we're going to be learning about an artist named Inez Alvidres. I'm probably butchering her name. But she did some really cool drawings. And she is was born in Mexico. So she was born in Chihuahua, Mexico, but she's currently living in Texas. She's been living in Texas for 20 years. She does abstract, some sort of abstract art, but also representational. She does a lot of nature drawings. She gets her inspirations from Texas and the deserts and a lot of flowers. She loves colors. Her artwork is very colorful. And she loves to highlight all of her drawings with gold lines. This is just some examples of her artwork here. So you can see that she likes to break up her paintings with different colors. And we're gonna be making our cactuses look like that today. She does lots of flowers, lots of landscapes, and she always uses this gold outlines in between. There's a landscape. This is kind of similar to what we're gonna be doing today with a cactus on the side, some blue, landscape on the bottom. We're gonna have a sun and we're gonna have a twilight scene, so like going into nighttime. And that's kind of an example of what we're gonna be drawing today. So I'm gonna be showing on the screen what we're doing. And I also have over here the drawing that I'll be going along. So it'll be easier for you to actually see on this screen. So you guys should be able to see this screen here that has her name and the cactus. And now we have step one. So see the thumbs, give me a thumbs up if you guys can see the step one screen. Good, all right, awesome. And then can you guys see this drawing screen over here too? A little bit, awesome, perfect. So step one is we're going to, you have your piece of paper, we're gonna have it landscape, which means up and down. And we are going to draw, so the first thing we're gonna draw is the cactus. And I found it was really hard to draw the cactus, just trying to freehand draw the cactus. So we're gonna draw the cactus, we have the center of our paper down here, just a little bit to the left of the paper. We're gonna draw a line kind of from the top all the way down to the bottom there. And we're gonna draw this really lightly with your pencil because we're gonna go back and erase this. So just do this really light. I should have said that first. I'm gonna be doing my drawing over on this side with Sharpie so that you can see it as usual. But you should be doing it in pencil and do this one really light. Now we're gonna draw a couple arms on our cactus. So over here, I'm gonna draw one coming down and over. And then over here, I'm gonna draw another one going up a little bit further up on it. So now we kind of have like a stick figure of what our cactus is gonna look like. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go around kind of like a bubble around it. So this is kind of giving us a figure of what it should look like, and this is gonna give our cactus what it's supposed to look like. So you're gonna go around the cactus, go up, and around. And so your second step should look like this. You should have the outline of the cactus and a little stick figure in the middle. And after you're done with that, you're going to erase the part that's in the middle. And it's going to look like this. So you should have, once you erase the part in the middle, you should have your cactus all nice and open for us to draw some lines in it. And then we're also going to draw a horizon line, but we're going to not draw a straight horizon line across. We're going to draw our horizon line a little wavy, because Alvidres like to draw lots of wavy lines. We're going to be doing a lot of curved lines today. So I'm going to draw a nice curved line. That's going to be our kind of our horizon line. All right, I'm going to wait for everyone to give me a thumbs up if you have your cactus drawn. I want to make sure I don't get too far ahead. I also included over here this previous step. So if I go a little bit fast, you can see the slide that I had right before. You can see what we were working on before in case I go a little bit fast. All right. So it looks like we got everyone's got the cactus in. I'm going to jump to the next slide here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our bottom landscape. So we're going to be doing lots of different kind of curvy lines. Now, they don't have to be exactly like mine, but we do want to add our sun here. So this sun part is the most important because we do want a sunset in our drawing. So I'm going to draw a line across. Remember, if we go behind, we're going behind the cactus when we're drawing. You're going to try to draw that line going across. So I'm going to draw one here, like that. And then I'm going to draw my sun, a semicircle, coming out on the right side behind, kind of like that. So now I have my sun right here. And then I have kind of my land part here. And then I'm just going to draw some wavy lines that we're going to fill in with different colors. So now I have my sun here, and I have some wavy lines down at my landscape, or where my ground is. So you can see it doesn't have to be exactly what I'm drawing. My drawing over here is just a little bit different than the drawing I have in the example here. So that looks good. Awesome. All right, next step is we need to draw our sky. So our sky, we kind of want to draw, instead of drawing little random lines, we want to draw our lines going kind of across, but still going up and down. This is going to kind of look, I'll show you what the final product is going to look like this. So here's where my land is. We're going to color that blue. And the sky, you kind of want to do wavy lines kind of going up, because we're going to go from like lighter like yellow, orange, all the way up to purple into black.
I couldn't find crayons, so I'm just going to use
And remember, we don't want to go over our cactus, but we want to kind of keep those lines following across the page. And when we do this, it's going to kind of look like we just have a ton of lines going on. But that's all right. We can try to make sure that we keep track of what is the sky and what's the land. So now here I have my land going across here. I have my big cactus in the foreground. For those of you that were in the class last time, the Zoom class, we have our cactus in the foreground. Remember, we did our foreground. And then we have our middle ground is the land, and our background will be the sky and the sun. All right, so Olivia, you just entered. If you can if you have your paper, you just want to get caught up to where we are with the cactus. We have a cactus that we drew, and this is a sun here, and we have some land. So as close as you can copy of what we have going on the screen there. All right, looks like most of us have finished this step. Step number 6 is we need to draw some lines now inside of the sun and our cactus. So we're gonna also be having some different breaking up. So again, here's our final product, our final drawing. We're gonna have some lines in our sun and also our cactus. So it's kind of gonna look like a stained glass kind of effect when we're done. So I'm just gonna break up my sun, a couple of curved lines, and also my cactus. So now our drawing looks kind of crazy. We have tons of lines going everywhere, so we got to try to make sure that we remember where everything is. But we kind of can see still our outlines of our sun here, and this is the land and our sky. All right, we got one thumbs. If you finish, you can give me a thumbs up. You can see how we're doing. So this will be kind of how this will be our finished drawing part. So after we're done with this, we're going to be doing our coloring. So once you get your kind of cactus scene, how you like it, we're going to be going on to the coloring. We're going to color a specific way so that we don't kind of color something the wrong color. Because we have we have kind of actually 4 different parts that we're going to color. We're going to be coloring the sun, yellow, kind of yellow-orange. It's hard to see on my screen here. We're going to be coloring our land blues, our cactuses. Oh, that is awesome, Haley. You have a ton of colors there. Our cactuses are going to be green, and our background is going to be like going from like orange to red to purple to black. So if you have something with lots of different colors, if not, remember we did the crayon. You guys did the crayon lessons, and you can mix your crayons. So if you don't have a lot of crayons, if you just have your basic colors, even with markers, you can do a little bit of mixing with those. So we're going to start out with our sun, because I think we can get the sun out of the way. So I have 3 yellow crayons that are different shades that I picked out. And you can just randomly color them in how you want. So I also did, for this one, you can see I picked kind of like an orangey yellow color. So if you want to do that, if you want your sun to be a little bit orange also, if you don't have a lot of yellows, you can do orange too. So whatever colors you want that are around yellow or orange, and you're just going to color each different shape, each organic little shape of the sun a different color. All right, so we have our sun. Next thing that we want to do is our cactus. So Olivia, can you use red? We're going to do red for the sunset, but you can use red if you want. That's totally fine. Red is in the sun, so yeah, go ahead. Use red. Red will work. So our cactus, and we want to make sure we stay inside the lines of our cactus here. And again, we're doing the same thing. We're just filling each of those shapes in a different shade of green. So we just get a ton of different greens. It's going to kind of look like a camouflage for the cactus. So I picked out 4 different crayons for my cactus. Make sure not to rush. I know I kind of jumped over to the cactus really quick, but if you're still working on the sun, don't worry. I don't want you to have to rush the project. We want to fill those colors in all the way. And the best way that I find is when we're coloring, instead of putting this one down and then going and coloring this one in and going all the way down, I like to take my crayon and I pick this one. Olivia, perfect. Those look really good. And I like to just pick one, and then I'll go down here and maybe I'll pick this part, and I'll just randomly pick a different section of my cactus just in a different spot to color in. And this works with, if you're ever painting, this helps a lot with paints, because if you switch from different paints, you have to clean the brush off. You got to fix everything. So this way, like if you were doing paints or oil pastels, you can color that one color in all the way and then move on to the next color. That's kind of why I like to use the same color and do all the different sections that I want for that color. And then if I have a couple sections left over, I can go back and fill those in. So now I've used this color. So I can put this one to the side. I know I've finished that one. I'll just pick another one and color that in. Another thing I like to do a little bit before I start, if I know I'm going to be using a lot of different colors and I haven't really used those colors a lot, is I will do some, okay, kind of show it up here, just some tests to see what the colors look like. Because sometimes, especially with markers, I found that they look one color on the marker and then you go to color it and it looks totally different. Also with crayons. Sometimes you'll get a color crayon, you'll think it's red, and then you start coloring and it's pink or it's purple. You're like, oh, that's not the color that I wanted. So sometimes it's a good idea to have an extra piece of paper and just before you go on your final picture, just do a test run of that color and see what it looks like. Make sure it's the color that you want.
Or if you get the wrong color, you can just color over it.
Put my headphone on, so if you guys have any questions, I just realized I can't hear any of you. So if you guys have any questions, you can just unmute and ask me now. But you guys are pretty much a quiet bunch. So.
And if you get the
Yeah, Olivia, do you have a question? I only caught the end of it. Oh, I don't think your microphone's working. Do you want to type it in the chat?
okay.
It's like cutting in and out of your microphone. Oh, so if your cactus looks a little weird, that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? So you can just make it, and it'll look a little abstract. So that's totally fine. If you just keep with your coloring, it should look good. So I think it'll be fine, no problem. I'm going to, even though I'm still on my cactus, I still have a ton, and you probably still have a ton left on yours, I'm going to skip to the next because sometimes people work really fast. And when my son was practicing this, he was like super fast with this. So the next thing you're going to do is the ground. So the ground part, since this is Cactus Twilight, which means that this is like from daytime to nighttime, is especially out here in Arizona, we have the beautiful sunsets. But you notice that sometimes the ground is darker color. So we do have blues for our ground, but this isn't really necessarily water. It's just the way that the light reflects and it kind of makes the ground a little bit blue. So I did keep up, this is why I have this previous step over here. You can see we're gonna keep our cactus. Oh, Olivia, that looks great. I don't think that cactus looks weird at all. That looks totally good. Awesome. And then we're gonna do the same thing with our blue. So you're just gonna pick a shape and fill it in with different colors. Oh, and be careful, I started to draw color in my my sunset there with green. So Make sure not to rush. Olivia, those are perfect. That's a nice array of blue that you have. Some darks and some lights. Let me see. That looks great. Perfect. So when we do the sunset, we're actually gonna, instead of randomly picking colors, we're gonna actually do that in an order. So that kind of looks more like a real sunset. Is anyone else up to the sunset yet? Besides Olivia, looks like. Olivia, you're up to the sunset, right, yet? All right. All right, I'm gonna jump. Looks like most of us are probably still working in green. Let's see, Paul, how are you working on? Are you working on the cactus still, or are you on the blue ground?
I'm on the blue.
The blue ground, okay. All right, I'm going to jump to the next slide. So Haley, you can keep working on the cactus, so you still have green there. So I kind of skipped a step when I was doing this before and taking the pictures. So we do have the gold already in here. So when you do the background, and then actually, I did red down here, which I meant to do more of a yellow or a lighter color. You kind of want to go from a orange, like a light orange yellow, up to orange, up to red, and then to purple, and then dark blue, and then finally you could do a black on the top. So you kind of want to do a gradient, or doing the colors from like how the rainbow goes from yellow to orange, and then red, and then purple and blue. Yep, perfect. Yep, warm colors. You want to pick those warm colors. And then this one, I actually have the gold drawing on there. This is going to be our last step. That's why it says steps 10 and 11.
I finished my drawing.
All right, let me see, Olivia. That looks awesome. Perfect. So did you have a gold pen or anything for it? Or no? No, okay. So if you don't, that's fine. You can either go over with black, either marker or whatever you use to kind of outline each of those shapes. If not, you can kind of go through and just keep coloring in a little bit of the spaces. If you see a little bit of white where you missed some coloring, go through and go back over those colors. There's the bottom part. Drawing completed. go ahead and fill in my sunset. So like I said before, I'm gonna start with a light orange and go up to red, and then like a red magenta, and up to purple. I kind of want to follow those lines that I'm going across. I have these lines going across here. I know that that is this color that I want. almost done here. How you guys doing? All right, Haley's doing good. Paul, how you doing?
I'm finished.
All right. I'm going to finish up this really quick, and then our last step is going to be going over with the gold. So if you guys were able to get a gold Sharpie or a gold paint pen, that's our last step, is going over it with that paint pen. And I can kind of see how we already did it over on here is what it's going to look like when you go over with a paint pen. If you don't have that, that's all right. It just adds that little extra touch and makes it kind of like stand out a little bit more. If you don't have a paint pen, a gold one, you can maybe just use a black Sharpie like how I have mine. It'll just kind of separate all those different colors a little bit more, make them stand out. So I'm going to go over really quick. So I have most of my coloring done there.
Can we use a black crayon pencil?
Yes, you may. So I would use maybe a black crayon instead of a colored pencil. Black crayon
Okay.
up a little bit. It'll be a little bit darker.
Okay.
So I have my paint pen. And you're just going to kind of go over those lines that you already drew in between each one. Now my paint pen doesn't really go that well over my black Sharpie. When I showed you guys. Paul, that looks great. All right.
Thank you.
So you kind of get the idea. So for my drawing here that I over here, the paint pen doesn't really go over because I did the black Sharpie so you guys can see. I'm going to spotlight a couple people's drawings. So Paul, can I spotlight yours? I'm going to all right, there we go. Here's Paul's. Great job, Paul. That looks awesome.
Thank you.
All right, let's spotlight another one. That looks great, Eli. Perfect. Very nice. Let's see, Haley, do you want to show yours really quick, or how far are you with yours? Oh, that looks really good. Awesome. You're doing an awesome job.
Mr. Ludwig,
Yes. All right, we're going to do Olivia here.
we're not done and we don't know the colors.
Okay, so I am going to show again. Highlight this. Olivia, that is awesome. I love that. That's perfect. So here are the colors again. So you have green for your cactus. You have yellow for your sun. We have our blues for our landscape, our ground, and then our sunset kind of goes from a light orange. It's hard to see on the screen here, but a light orange up to reds and then up to purples. So there we go. Did you guys have fun today?
Yes.
Awesome.
See.
Let me see if I can go back to me.
Yes. See.
All right. So thank you guys so much. I hope you liked it, the lesson today, and I hope you guys have a great fall break. So I'll be excited to get a couple weeks off. So that'd be very cool.
Mr. Ludwig,
Yes.
we're done with it.
What was the question?
We're not done with it.
That's okay. You can just keep working on it. And then also, if you guys want to take a picture of your drawing and email it to me, that would be awesome so I can upload it. So, up at also
Can I-
go ahead.
Can I share about fall break?
Sure, really quick.
So I'm gonna be going to Mexico, and my niece is gonna help me put on these nails.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome. All right, so you guys have a good fall break. Email me the pictures if you can. That would be so cool. Bella, that is awesome.
See you next Tuesday at the resource room.
Yes, well, after the break. And there was one other thing that, if you haven't finished yet, up on the school PLP at the very top where the Zoom lesson is, there's an example of what the finished drawing looks like. So you guys can go there and look and see what colors.
Which resource room are you going to?
So on Tuesdays, I'm in Gilbert, and then every other Thursday, I'm in Maricopa.
Yay!
I'll be in Maricopa. I should be in Maricopa this Thursday. So
Are you gonna be in Maricopa today?
not today, no.
Okay, this Thursday.
Yeah, and today I'm just actually staying at home. So
Okay.
I have my home in the background. So all right, you guys, thank you so much. I had so much
I like
fun.
your chandelier.
Thank you. I hope you guys had fun too.
Yeah, I like your chandelier. Yeah.
Thank you guys. Bye,
Everyone's just
guys.
complimenting him for his chandelier.